Dominionism. What is it? What is Michele Bachmann's relationship to it? Great New Yorker piece on it. First of all, one of the leading Dominionists is a person named Francis Schaeffer. We've had his son on the show to help us understand all of this. His son has now gone in a different direction after actually shooting some of the documentaries for his dad. This is one of the leading figures in the movement. Francis Schaeffer ran a mission in the Swiss Alps. It was known as L'Abri. You know what that means? The shelter. How similar does that sound to Al-Qaeda, which means the base? And like Al-Qaeda, these fundamentalists teach that Christianity should dominate over everything else. That's why it's dominionism. The Christians should have dominion over all of the land. And that's exactly what Al-Qaeda says, that the Muslims should. Maybe that's why these right-wing fundamentalists are so scared of Sharia law, because they think that's what we want to do. And so this is direct competition to us, that we want to have the government take over our religion take over the government. So what does Michele Bachmann think of Francis Schaeffer? He is absolutely brilliant and one of the leading lights, apparently, and that she is guided by him. Oh, fantastic, fantastic. Well, here's what Genesis 1:26 says, by the way, so you understand where this so-called dominionism comes from. It says, the man is urged to, quote, have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. I wonder if that also includes Michele Bachmann. She creepeth over the earth. So Christians should have dominion. Not we human beings. Christians should have dominion. In fact, Schaeffer in his 1981 Christian Manifesto, and that is literally the title of the book, said that if Roe versus Wade is not overturned soon, that there should, and that was back in 1981, so it didn't get overturned soon, that there should be a violent overthrow of the government. Again, what does that sound like? Sounds like Al-Qaeda that says if they don't agree with Islam, you overthrow the government. One of the leading proponents of Schaeffer's version of dominionism is Nancy Pearcey. Her 2004 book is called Total Truth, Liberating Christianity from Its Cultural Captivity. I'm going to skip over to quote number 5 here, where she describes her version of this total truth and what non-believers should do. She says, there may be occasions when Christians are mistaken on some point, while non-believers get it right. Wow, is she not merciful? Nevertheless, the overall systems of thought constructed by non-believers will be false. For if the system is not built upon biblical truth, then it will be built on some other ultimate principle. Even individual truths will be seen through distorting lens of a false worldview. That is the book that Michele Bachmann called, quote, wonderful. It was a wonderful book. So if you happen to be Jewish, well, obviously you have the wrong worldview. And you're going to be wrong 99 out of 100 times. There might be a rare time that you're wrong. You're right about something rather than a Christian. But you got to understand, since Christians have the right worldview and Jews obviously don't, you will be wrong a great majority of the time. So bow your head and listen to the Christians. That obviously also applies to the atheists, agnostic. Obviously, they couldn't be more wrong. Muslims, are you kidding me? Everybody that disagrees with Michele Bachmann and her lunatic Christian right friends are apparently all wrong, and that's why they need to capture the government. That is part of Summit Ministries, by the way, the 7 mountains they have to capture. One of them is the government. That is what Michele Bachmann set out to do when she studied at Oral Roberts University. By the way, what was the goal of Oral Roberts University? Well, let's go to quote number 4. In the Journal of Christian Jurisprudence, that was the first law review magazine that they had put out for Oral Roberts University when Michele Bachmann was studying there. They said it was to, quote, equip our students with the ability to bring God's healing power to reconcile individuals and to restore community wholeness and to restore law to its historic roots in the Bible. So the aim is for the people who believe this interpretation of the Bible to take over the government and to restore the government to the Bible. Well, take out Bible, put in Quran, that's exactly what Al-Qaeda wants to do, right? Religious lunatics who believe they know better than every other religion, every other sect of Christianity, and they must take over the government. Every one of these books is being praised by Michele Bachmann. It's a wonderful book. Brilliant. Exactly what she follows. She goes to Oral Roberts University where they teach this. That's where she got her law degree. She worked with Professor Eidsmoe, who goes to Council of Conservative Citizens, the modern day version of the KKK meetings, and says, well, she praises the book by Wilkins, who says that, hey, slavery wasn't so bad. It helped the slaves get along with their slave owners. Yeah, isn't that convenient? And that Christianity sanctioned that. She put that in her own website, saying what a great book that was. That was a book praising Robert E. Lee. Now, by the way, Schaeffer, according to the man we started telling you about, according to Bachmann, was, quote, a tremendous philosopher, a philosopher. And he wrote marvelous books and was very inspirational. Now, if you're unclear as to whether Michele Bachmann means all this, why don't we go to a direct quote from Michele Bachmann? Here she is. She says, that also was another profound influence, referring to Schaeffer's idiotic movie, on Marcus's life and my life, because we understood that the God of the Bible isn't just about Bible stories and about Bible knowledge or about just church on Sunday. He is the Lord of all life, every bit of life, including sociology, theology, biology, politics. Politics. I added the words there. You can see the direct quote. Obviously, you can see she mentioned politics. You name the area and walk of life. He is the Lord of life. And so as we went back to our studies, we look at studying in a completely different light, not for the purpose of a career, but for a purpose of wondering. How does this fit into creation? How does this fit into the code and all of life that is about to come in front of us? And so we had new eyes that were opened up as we understood life now from a biblical worldview. Now, the reason I repeated politics several times there is because this is her saying, hey, you know what? I want to take our biblical worldview. I don't want it to be just on Sundays at church. I want it to take over everything, including politics. That's why she got into this, by her own words. Whenever she had talked about it before, you can see it in this quote. You can see it in all the things that she said, that I had a calling from God to come and bring this into politics. She is, the Christian version of a group, that wants to take over politics. And look, the guy that she has said over and over, tremendous philosopher, great worldview, the one who guided her into this quote, Francis Schaeffer, said if Roe versus Wade is not overturned soon, we should have a violent overthrow of the government. So is she dangerous? Is this real? Does she really believe it? She absolutely believes it. You don't go to Oral Roberts University to go to law school and figure out how you can meld our laws with the Bible and corrupt our Constitution with your insane view of the Bible because you didn't mean it. You don't say that that's your whole purpose, to bring God into politics, because you didn't mean it. She means it. She is incredibly dangerous.